In the grand, often tumultuous theatre of human conditions and responses, there lies a peculiar irony in the cultural manifestations surrounding deafness in the Western world. It is an irony, I must say, that twirls itself in the very fabric of human resilience and obstinacy, presenting a paradox that is as intriguing as it is, in some aspects, profoundly misguided. Let us first acknowledge the unyielding spirit at the heart of deaf culture, a spirited affirmation of identity in the face of what many perceive as a relentless tide of ableism. This is commendable and in many ways a testament to the indomitable nature of the human spirit. However, in this vehement rush towards self-affirmation, there emerges a shadow of contradiction, a kind of self-imposed isolationism that mirrors the very prejudices and limitations that the deaf community so fervently seeks to overcome. The staunch preservation of sign language and the vehement opposition to technologies like cochlear implants, while rooted in a deeply felt sense of cultural identity, often edge perilously close to a kind of reactionary purism. It's a purism that, while ostensibly in opposition to ableism, paradoxically echoes the same limiting sentiments. That there is a right way to be deaf, a pure deaf experience. In this fervent embrace of a deaf identity, there is a dismissal, perhaps inadvertently, of the vast continuum of human experience, including the experiences of those who are deaf, but do not fully align with this culturally sanctioned version of deafness. This is, in a sense, a mirror image of the ableist perspective, which seeks to impose a singular narrative on the disabled. Moreover, the West's portrayal of deaf culture often romanticizes this resistance to integration, painting it as a noble stand against oppression. Yet this romanticization overlooks the complexities and indeed the internal contradictions within the deaf community itself. It is a narrative that is as simplistic as it is patronizing, ignoring the varied experiences and desires of deaf individuals, some of whom may seek integration, technology, and other means to engage with the world at large. This vehement denial of deafness as a disability, rooted deeply in the psyche of the Western deaf culture, warrants a more profound examination. At its core, this stance seems to emanate from a complex interplay of trauma, defiance, and a quest for identity that has been historically shaped by marginalization and misunderstanding. The trauma, often unspoken, arises not just from the physical experience of deafness, but from the societal reactions to it, the stigmatization, the othering, and the pervasive sense of exclusion. This collective trauma engenders a form of confusion, a psychological turmoil where the very nature of one's sensory experience becomes intertwined with a struggle for identity and acceptance. The refusal to label deafness as a disability can thus be seen as a coping mechanism, a way to reclaim agency in a world that has long denied it. However, this coping mechanism is double-edged. While it fosters a strong sense of community and solidarity, it also engenders a form of denial, a refusal to acknowledge the challenges and limitations that deafness can impose. This denial is not mere obstinacy, but a deeply ingrained response to a world that has often equated disability with inferiority, incompetence, and pity. In this light, the aversion to technologies like cochlear implants or other integrative aids is not just a cultural preference, but a psychological bulwark against a world that has historically viewed deafness through a lens of deficit rather than difference. The intricacies of this psychological landscape reveal a community grappling with the dualities of empowerment and limitation, seeking to define itself not by the parameters imposed by the hearing world, but by its own terms, even if this means walking a tightrope between denial and acceptance. While the fight against ableism is undoubtedly a noble and necessary one, it is crucial to recognize that the manifestation of deaf culture, in its more reactionary forms, risks replicating the very paradigms it seeks to dismantle. In the end, the goal should be a society that accommodates all variations of human experience and ability, not one that merely inverts the prevailing prejudices under the guise of cultural preservation.